In today's video, I'm going to show you my new widescreen DIY arcade project that I just picked up for $70. Welcome to the Underground Arcade. My name is Bronson and I am on a quest to build an arcade in the shed I'm sitting in. And a few videos ago, I went and picked up a trailer load of arcade machines. One of the ones I picked up was this beautiful widescreen arcade here that was actually someone else's project that didn't quite finish, and I got it for a steal. So I was browsing an auction site here in New Zealand, a website called Trade Me, similar to eBay, and I saw this project come up and it was a $1 reserve. I wasn't going to bid on it because I'd actually just bought a few other arcade machines, but I did see that the auction ended at a weird time. It ended at about 4 a.m. in the morning or 3:30 a.m. So you know, often with dollar reserve auctions, everyone waits to the last minute and they go crazy and bid. But I thought, ending at 4 a.m., I might be in with a shot to pick this up. So I put an auto bid on of $100, a maximum bid. And when I woke up in the morning, I'd actually won the auction. I'd won this arcade. And someone had actually bid in the middle of the night with me, dollar for dollar, like they'd gone up in $1 increments and pushed it all the way up to $70. I did message the guy because I did think $70 was a bit cheap, but he said, no, I need to get rid of it. I need the space in my garage. I got other projects, come and pick it up. So I have a new project now. When I went and picked this up, I had a chat to the guy and he actually told me he made this all out of one sheet of plywood. There's loads of templates online for how to make various arcade machines out of different size single sheets of plywood. So they kind of show you all the different cuts you need to make. Instructables actually have some really good ones. I might link some below so you could sort of check those out if you like. But there are some simple templates where you don't have curves, so you can just cut them all with a skill saw and, you know, straight cuts. There are some cabinets like this that are a bit more curvy, but you can still get them out of one sheet. Now the plywood alone, the guy probably would have spent more, I imagine, than $80 for the sheet of plywood to make this machine, let alone the TV that's in there, the glass, speakers and stuff, which we'll get into. So definitely a good bargain. So we're going to attack this in three parts. First thing we're going to do is go over the machine. There are some things that need to be rewired. There's some loose wires in under here. In the second video, we're going to get an old PC. We're going to install MAME on it, and I'll show you how to install MAME and a bunch of ROMs. And then in the third video, I'm going to completely paint this. I'm going to bog all the screw holes. I'm going to take all the buttons out, and I'm going to paint this in some colors that hopefully match our little channel logo, some retro colors. And then I'm going to present this to my children as their sort of arcade machine, so they can stop touching Dad's other arcade machines, and they can play on this one. I think this will be quite good for the kids because it's quite low. It's also angled nicely. You've got all the buttons, and yeah, I just think it'll be, you know, it's a nice widescreen. They can get a few kids around it watching. I think it'll be really good for them. There's a few things I really love about this cabinet design, and one of them is that this whole front section here lifts up. So there's a big piano hinge across the back here, and that lifts up. He's done a beautiful job with the plywood here, but it allows you to get in to all the buttons, all the controllers, all the wiring. You can see there's a few loose wires here and there. There's some buttons that aren't, spade connectors aren't connected, so I do need to go through those and kind of figure out what's what. It also looks like some of the buttons might be backlit, the player 1, player 2, and the coin buttons, because there's 4 spade connectors running into them rather than just the 2. So I need to have a play with that, but nice and accessible, and obviously like everything's written, he's written like which button's which on there. You can get to the restrictor gates on the bottom of the joystick, so really nice setup. I'll actually put a keyboard and mouse in here as well, a little mouse pad keyboard, and then I could lift it up and do things on the PC, Windows updates, configure things, you know, connect it to the network, all that sort of thing. Now it did actually come with a PC. The guy did tell me it's a bit of a rubbish PC. It's only got 4 gig of RAM and it's got no hard drive. So I'm going to actually put another PC in a smaller, you know, probably a quarter of the size of this little sort of NUC box in the back of it, and we'll install MAME on that. Maybe I'll hold on to this and maybe use it for a future project, but lots of space down here, which is really nice to sort of have good cable management, have everything tidy, all that sort of stuff. Another cool thing about it is it's already wired up with 2 speakers up the top and an amp behind the TV. And he has put a little control panel here. He's made a cutout in the plywood and put a little treble bass volume control panel in there. Hasn't glued it in yet, which is perfect, so I'll lift it up or paint it, but you've actually got your volume control right here on top of the cabinet. As well as that, even better, the TV controls have been cut out and taken off the side of the TV. So the TV's obviously been taken out of its case that it was in. It's taken the controls, and so you can turn the TV on and off here. Also adjust the menu and that sort of thing if you need to go onto the TV. So that'll sit in nicely along there, and it will mean that we can power it up and down and just turn the TV off properly here. It does have a remote as well, which is pretty cool, and I'll be able to stash that underneath. Now, one thing I will need to try and figure out is the marquee light. So I'll put some sort of artwork up there. I will obviously need to figure out how to mount some, maybe like a right angle bracket to put some Lexan in behind. Yeah, I need to figure that out. It is quite wide. This is a 32-inch widescreen TV in this. It's not a monitor, so I know some purists that are watching will probably say that it should be a monitor for the refresh rate. The TV might not look as good, but like I said, probably for the children, so that'll be all right. But it is quite wide, so that means I've got to find some wide artwork or maybe get some made. Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But I think first things first, we're going to check everything over. We're going to install MAME in the next video, and then we will start painting it, I reckon. So for some reason on this side, there's a second USB encoder board. He did also give me a bag of like random wires and just a whole lot of random stuff. So obviously sort of been playing around with various ways to get it going. I might just pull this off like that, break that off. If you watched the last video, these little boards are a really easy way to get into making your own arcade. Basically, you buy them online at like Amazon or AliExpress and those sort of places. And all of these little plugs here that you have your spade connectors on, these are all like lettered or numbered. So you've got like, up, down, left, right, for example, or button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. So it's just a matter of plugging each of these spade connectors in. You can see here, this one's got a couple of loose spade connectors, so it's just as simple as going, oh yeah, that's button number, 3 or 4. And very simple to put in. And then out the other end of that, you've just got a standard USB plug. So essentially you have one for player 1 and one for player 2, and that's all my Raspberry Pi basically has, is 2 USB cables running into it and all the buttons running out of there. This also has power, obviously gets the power from USB, and you can see here that there's power, the red and black power cables running out to these two, daisy chained, so that's for the backlit buttons there. And there's also power running out to the back of this joystick, which is kind of exciting because that must mean these arcade sticks are backlit as well. One nice little thing that he's made is these 3D printed little spacer boards. I'm assuming they're 3D printed by the texture, but it basically allows you to mount the encoder board onto this little plate, and then you can just mount the plate onto there, and then it's, you're not touching the back of the pins or anything or grounding anything out. So I might actually reuse that plate and see if I can find a ribbon cable, and yeah. All right, screw this back on here. I really like this design of just being able to hinge it open and work on it. None of the wires that were loose were actually any problem. They were just loose spade connectors. So I've just tightened some of those up, and yeah. Perfect. So throw the old PC out. One thing I do need to figure out is that there are 2 spare button holes here. So I don't quite know what to do about those. They look a bit ugly. I don't want to try and patch them up. Maybe I need to try and find a couple more of the same button to put in there. I just went and checked the bag that the guy gave me when he gave me this arcade. Had a bunch of random cables in it, like, power cables, and actually had 2 buttons in it. So it's got some ribbon cables and encoder boards and all sorts of good stuff. So very handy. I definitely got my money's worth. So I've got 2 extra buttons we can just put through. Maybe not wire up to anything now until we find a game or a need to have the buttons, or maybe like a reset or a shutdown or something like that. Now, one thing I would like your opinion on is the back of this machine. The back of the TV is exposed. Obviously, I'm not going to lick my finger and jam it in any of the components. It's a modern TV, modern-ish, so it's not like the old CRT TVs where, the neck could electrocute you if it wasn't discharged properly. I'm just not sure about dust and things in there. There's also a bunch of space. There's that bottom shelf where the PC will sit. There's a lot of space for cable management. I'll probably screw a 4-way board in there, have everything plugged in. So maybe I should make a panel of plywood that can just sit in the back and maybe even hinge it. Might be handy with a little latch on it. That might be the way to go. Will add extra weight. This thing is pretty heavy because there's obviously quite thick plywood used and there's a lot of it. But I guess it's not going to be moved that often, so it's not the end of the world. So I think this was well worth my $70 that I paid for it. And then obviously trailer hire, and it was an 8-hour round trip to go and pick it up. But if we exclude that, $70 arcade cabinet, it's probably only going to need paint and a marquee light and the odd bit of cable management or something. So I might be in at another $50, $100, and then I've got this kind of $200 widescreen arcade cabinet. So stay tuned for the next video. That'll come out in a few days' time. We're going to put an old PC in it. We're going to install MAME on that PC. We're going to talk about how to map buttons in MAME, how to install ROMs. We're going to copy some ROMs across. We're going to play some games. And then in that third video, we're going to strip it all down, sand it up. We'll figure out what to do about the molding. I don't have a router, so I can't really do the T-molding on the sides. I'm not quite sure what to do there. I might just get the sort of press fit molding for all the edges, paint it all up, wire it all up, hand it off to the kids, and yeah, we'll have a jam playing it, and it'll be another arcade project down. Well, thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe and come along on the adventure, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.